welcome back to everyone to Speed Round. Insert number here. I'll look afterwards. I don't even care which number this is right now. I'll look at the number afterwards. Yeah, okay, screw it. I'll do it right now just to be like, he's not being professional. No one's doing that. I assume no one's doing that. And if they are, well, screw you. I don't have to answer myself to you people. I have to answer myself to me people. Anyway, let's see here. Speed rounds. Hold on. Where is my speed round video? Okay, speed round 20. We're on number 27 of the speed rounds. That's what we're on. Okay. So let's just get started. Coming to us from, this is one that was actually supposed to be this previous Tuesdays, and I looked at it, I'm like, this is a one shot. I gotta. Now I should have honestly done that also with the Roy and Foley video, but what am I gonna do? From Daniel F, who asked the question, who would win in the fight, Overhaul or Diavolo from JoJo? Now, I'm not a big JoJo person. Not that I've tried reading, I've tried watching. It's just, again, animation style or drawing style it doesn't really work for me. It's an interesting concept, but yeah, I don't know. That doesn't work for me. But Overhaul was the ability to not restructure, but break down and then reform with his other one hand and the other hand, and do God knows what is insanely powerful. But unfortunately, Crimson King, which is the stand of Diavolo, is way too broken, honestly, for most of the My Hero world. It literally has the ability to erase 10 seconds of time and then be able to predict 10 things happening within the next 10 seconds. It's also physically very powerful. Add on to the fact that the stands cannot be seen except by other stand users, means that he's not even going to see this thing coming. He's just going to get smacked around and beaten up into hell until he eventually just gives up or is broken or bloody. Even if he tries to hit or touch Diavolo, King Crimson is going to just erase 10 seconds of it. Essentially, he erases the cause but not the effect. That's the way it's described. So yeah, because of that, yeah, no, he's pretty screwed. So yeah, Diavolo wins that fight. Then coming to us from Anthony Dahl, the Ghostbusters versus Beetlejuice. Look, the Ghostbusters have theoretically taken down Cthulhu, Satan, all that, but literally, Beetlejuice is a being who can just say freeze and immediately freeze. He can literally just say, "Oh yeah, sorry, buddy, sorry about that, buddy." And like he just can just turn their gear into like pudding or whatever, manifest whatever he wants. He's weirdly powerful, Beetlejuice. And he's apparently, yeah, he still just kind of answers to other individuals. Like there's like a weird hierarchy. He tries to follow the rules, but doesn't. By the way, that is a creepy image of him, by the way. Like he's just like, ugh. But yeah, unfortunately, the Ghostbusters are not really tackled to deal with someone like Beetlejuice if they can help it. Now, if Beetlejuice were to be hit by the proton packs, would he be injured? Could he be sealed away? Yeah, I think so. I mean, he is still just energy. But the fact is, they'd have to catch him, and he'd probably just take him out. Similar to how Vigo just kind of took out the Ghostbusters before they were able to even do anything. And honestly, Vigo versus Beetlejuice is a much more effective match, and Beetlejuice still would probably whoop Vigo's ass. So Beetlejuice there. Then, coming to us from James Reamer, we have the question of who won a fight, Sakura Haruno versus Yang Tifa. Or is it, or no, not Yang Tifa, Yang Zhao, I don't remember her last name, from RWBY. We're talking about Endgame Sakura, End of Series Sakura, Boruto Sakura. She's whooping Yang's ass. She literally can break mountains with her fists. She's basically not affected by Genjutsu. She can literally regrow limbs if she needs to. In fact, unless you were to cut her like this, straight in half, she probably could regrow. She can live through nearly anything. Even if you hypothetically blew off her body, she would theoretically live through it. That's how nuts her regeneration got. Although that one might be debatable. If you take her head off, it is debatable. Could she survive decapitation is the question, yeah. But otherwise, plus she's just more trained. She's lived through worse scenarios, more wars. Actually knows how to fight as a ninja. And yeah, this would be a battle of attrition for Yang for a little bit. She'd activate her semblance, take a couple of hits, and then just be taken down quick and fast. So yeah, Sakura Haruno gets my vote for that fight. Then coming to us from Shadow King, we have the question of who would win in a fight, the Mandarin or Thanos, two characters I don't believe who have ever met in combat. The Mandarin's powers come from all of his rings, which allow him to do many different things, and make him a very powerful individual, no doubt about it. But Thanos is a cosmic level threat. Like, he is a guy who can whoop the Silver Surfer's ass, who can even go toe to toe, who in later incarnations beat the hell and killed Galactus of all people. Like, Thanos is just a individual who's on a different tier of power than someone like the Mandarin. The Mandarin is a global threat. He is arguably a planet level threat at his peak, but Thanos is a galactic threat, a universal threat. And that's not even with just his raw power, but with his intellect and cunning and his resourcefulness. So yeah, Thanos would win that fight, I think, no problem. Then coming to us from Todd Fulford, we have the question of who will win the fight, Venom or Harley Quinn. I don't think this is going to be into much debate. Venom would absolutely annihilate Harley Quinn. The simple reason for that is twofold. One, stat-wise, he completely annihilates her. But two, she has nothing to capitalize on any weakness he has. She doesn't regularly carry sonics or fire on her at all. Now, if you were to say, well, what if you give it to her? That doesn't mean she wins still. He's actually developed the resistance to sonics. And yeah, fire would still hurt, but he knows his weaknesses better than she does. And again, she still doesn't have anything to really hurt him. So yeah, this is not going to look good for Harley. Then coming to us, so yeah, Venom wins. Then coming to us from SpongeBob 64, 64 Man, I think, we have Guts versus Captain America. Now, this is the one I might spend the most time talking about, because this is one that could have actually been a who would win. Guts, obviously, from Berserk, is a very physically powerful individual. His sword is drenched in so much demonic and supernatural blood, he can hurt ghosts. Dragon Slayer is his name, it's his giant chunk of metal. He wields the Berserker, is it the Berserker armor? Either way, the armor that cuts off his feelings to his nerves, that lets him just push his body beyond its limits, and just go wild. He can take a lot of punishment. It's just a beast of a human being. And his artificial arm houses not a rocket, but like a grenade or like a fire blast, arrows, all that. So it's kind of cool there. Cap is obviously a super soldier. He's actually as peak human as you can get, putting him in the super strength tier, peak agility, peak speed, all that. He is peak human. He's also a trained fighter in multiple forms of martial arts. In fact, not nearly all, but a lot of them. He's highly proficient in all of them. He is a superb soldier. He has fought many supernatural and just superhuman threats. Honestly, many well beyond the scope of what Guts normally fights. His shield is a mix of vibranium and iron, which makes it, or proto-adamantium, I think, which makes it tougher than adamantium, one of the only things tougher than it. And he's the captain, man. He's highly intelligent, good strategist. The reason I said this one could have been a versus because Guts could stand a chance in theory against Cap. He could because strength-wise, these two actually probably aren't too dissimilar. Guts certainly has superhuman strength. And Dragon Slayer, while not going to be cutting through that shield, is so powerful that even if it hits the shield, even if it doesn't cut through the shield, Cap might be thrown off balance against Guts. The problem, though, is that Cap, again, is the trained fighter between the two, and is probably still the physically more powerful. So he will probably have very little difficulty ultimately disarming him. And then, maybe just because it's not like he hasn't fought guys with metal arms before, probably disarming him. Even if Guts goes into the Berserker mode, Cap can just pull a shield out and start dismantling the armor. The armor and the shield can take the hits. This would be a bit of a drawn-out fight, I think. It would be. But I do think Cap is the one who wins overall. Then coming to us from... Who gave me this one? Jacob Bergman? We have the question of who wins in a fight. Sora from Kingdom Hearts versus Leonardo, the leader of the Ninja Turtles. The answer is Sora. He's got way more power-ups. He can fly. His Keyblade can cut through a lot more than Leo's katanas can. Leo might have the better combat training, but with the amount of magic and spells that Sora has, this is a clear-cut win in Sora's favor. Then, coming to us from Sabo Firefist, we have the question of who wins in a fight, Hulk or Crocodile. Now, the one argument you could maybe give to Crocodile, because he has the Logia fruit that turns him into sand. Maybe I think it's called the sand fruit, maybe. I don't know for certain. He could maybe go down Hulk's throat and just blow him up from the inside, but that's assuming he can actually blow Hulk up from the inside, because Hulk's durability is insane. Otherwise, it's just Crocodile trying to hurt him, failing, and Hulk eventually just displacing him until he tries to reform, and then Hulk just smashes him around until eventually he tires the hell out. That's all it's going to be. Hulk will just keep going, get more pissed off. Maybe literally irradiate so much gamma, he actually turns him into glass. And yeah, that's going to be all she wrote, more or less. So yeah, Hulk would win. Then coming to us from Mr. Rick and Ten Hokage. We have Grand Priest versus Rick and Morty. Now, the Rick and Morty universe might arguably is probably bigger than the Dragon Ball universe, to be fair. But in terms of just sheer power output, speed, and all that, the Grand Priest is going to completely annihilate Rick. Rick lost to a Zeus, who is nowhere near the level of a Grand Priest. There's nothing that Rick... Now, Rick could theoretically outsmart the Grand Priest, sure, but if the Grand Priest knows who Rick is, which is very possible given, observing the multiverse and all that, then he's not going to let him get anything. He's just going to... Forgive me, Morty. I had to kill him. It's like, there you go. So the Grand Priest is just going to dog walk Rick before anything else happens. Then, coming to us from Primal Agumon Draymon, we have who we're going to fight, Pennywise versus Agumon. Unfortunately, this is one of those fights where Pennywise definitely gets the win. Agumon really only just has his pepper rough, and Agumon can only is not as courageous without his Digimon partner with him. Maybe he's stubborn and all that, but without any extra ability. And just to say War Greymon, it'd be a very different story. In fact, I think I did that one. Because the power output at that point is just so great that there's a difference in terms of what they're capable of doing. But otherwise, Pennywise can just transform and just beat the living hell out of Agumon. It's not a really fair fight for Agumon. So Pennywise wins. Then, coming to us from Nolan Jarrett, Carnage versus a Xenomorph. Honestly, the acid would definitely burn Carnage, but I don't think it'd be enough to put him down. Even if you gave him an army of Xenomorphs that start melting the symbiote down to a certain degree, I think Carnage wouldn't know to attack from range. He can fire parts of himself out like bullets, start pinging them, and just shing. It's very possible Carnage could adapt to the acid blood too. Or he might even just move from Cassidy, possess a Xenomorph, and then possess Cassidy again or something like that, and take traits from the Xenomorph, because that's what the symbiotes do. They take traits from their hosts. But if it's just a one-on-one, oh yeah, Carnage is gonna obliterate a Xenomorph. Yeah, as dangerous as they are, it's not gonna happen. They're not getting through. Then coming us from, let's see here, Quentin Perez, we have Father from Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, or Full Metal Alchemist, versus Bill Cipher from Gravity Falls. It's just a scaling issue here. As powerful as Father is, and he is powerful, he's not on the level of a Bill Cipher at all. Not even close. Bill Cipher affects reality itself. He affects universes. He affects arguably the multiverse. That is not a level of power that exists within the Full Metal world. So Bill Cipher wins that fight. Then coming to us from where are you? Ghost the Reaper. Lobo versus the Creeper. Again, this is a scaling issue. The Creeper does not have supernatural threats in his world that we know about that would scale to the level of a Lobo, who can scale at least to a certain degree to Superman. Any damage he does to Lobo's going to heal from. Lobo can just rip this guy in half and just annihilate his ass. Throw him into the sun if he wants. Take him into space. There's nothing the Creeper has that can hurt Lobo. It's not going to happen. So yeah, Lobo would win that fight. Then coming to us from J Money, Wonder Woman versus Jason Voorhees. I think we can all agree that that's going to be Wonder Woman. Even Uber Jason is fodder compared to her. This is a woman who can break Superman's jaw if she wants. This is a woman who can fly fast enough to at least match in combat someone in reflexes like the Flash or Batman. Or who's better in hand-to-hand combat than Batman, who's got an indestructible lasso, indestructible shield, bracelets. can tag light speeders, who can help pull the earth. This is not a character Jason could go against. And if you're going to be that one guy who says, Jason's hyper-versatile, stop being an asshole. I'm just going to say it right now. Stop being an asshole. You know you're not right. You know you're wrong. You're just trying to start the shits. So stop being an asshole. Then we are down to our last three here. Coming to us from Nemesis Slasher 1356, Spawn versus Pinhead. Again, scaling issue. Now, I have heard that Spawn allegedly gets Pinhead gets allegedly multiversal. Allegedly. I have never seen anything, and I think there's comics too. Without the human soul in him, he does pose a bigger threat to the world, absolutely. But there's never been anything that suggests he is truly multiversal in any sense of it at all. And now, with his unbound power unchecked, yeah, he does become a bigger threat. But again, he's not that powerful. And even if we did go arguably multiversal, which I know, Spawn can with Divine Spawn, he can rewrite reality. Now, he's not a real multiversal level individual. He's mostly just a singular versal individual, but he's a high level one. And he literally can just take on Hellspawn, no problem. Base Pinhead is just cooked against this guy. Even if I were to be nice and say multiversal Pinhead, that he still Spawn has to do is go into hell because he became the king of hell, and he can start whooping ass in hell. Plus, he's got the amount of magic he has on his side to literally just manipulate souls and all that is kind of ridiculous. So, no, Pinhead would absolutely decimate Spawn would absolutely decimate Pinhead. Then coming to us from, where is he? 87.8G. The Beast from 20 Fathoms versus Mutos. Again, it's just a scale issue. The Mutos dwarf this thing. They dwarf them. Even the male Muto, who's the smaller of the two, is still bigger than this and can fly. So yeah, this is just a scaling issue. So yeah, unfortunately this thing gets lizard walked in this case. And last but not least, I actually went from bottom to top here. From 7up88. What is it? Kai, Cole, and Zane. By the way, it's impossible to find a group photo of just these three without the J in there. So there's that. Versus Jeff the Killer. One is a killer who I believe can't feel pain. And great, maybe has supernatural abilities, but generally from every depiction I can find, does not. And three ninjas with elemental abilities. I'm going with the three ninjas with elemental abilities. Sorry for any creepypasta fans out there. So overall, that is the Speed Round 27. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe. I'll see you guys for the next one. Later.